Good morning, everyone, and welcome to today's lesson. We're just continuing on with number sentences, page 160. I'm going to ignore A, guys, because it's really more or less the same as yesterday. You just have to spell 12 TWELVE instead of 12 and 30 THIRTY. So, but I'm going to just look in at B more closely. And this is just a little bit of a change where we've got three operations to decide upon, or we've got to choose between four operations to decide on, pardon me. And we might have to use brackets also in order to make these equations equal, because as we said before, where you have an equals, what's on the left hand side of the equals must be the exact same as on the right hand side, so they must balance. So we're going to be using addition, subtraction, multiplication, division and brackets if necessary, and we must follow the golden rule. Always do what's inside the brackets first, followed by our acronym MDAS, my dear Aunt Sally, multiplication, division, addition and subtraction in that order. So if we look closely at 1A, for example, we have to fill in our three frames in order to arrive at the answer 4. So like I know straight away from looking at that, and I'm sure you can see it too, that if you add 2 and 3, 5, 5 and 4 are 9, and 9 take away 5 leaves 4. Now we must think to ourselves as well, have I followed the acronym MDAS? Does my addition come before subtraction? And it does, so there is no need for brackets in 1. So it's 2 plus 3 plus 4 minus 5 is equal to 4. Let's look at B1b. And again, we've got the same four numbers, we have three frames, and we must make the equation equal, because that's the whole thing about equations. They are equal. What's on the left and the right hand side of the equals symbol, the equals sign must be the same. So in this instance, if I add 2 plus 3, 5, and I multiply 5 by 4, 20, and then I add on my 5, it is equal to 25. Now I have to go back again in each instance, in each sum, and say to myself, do I need to add brackets in order to follow the rule that you always do it inside the brackets first, followed by multiplication, division, addition, subtraction. So I want to add before I multiply. But I can't do that if I'm following MDAS, multiplication, division, addition and subtraction. So therefore I need my brackets. So I put 2 plus 3 inside brackets, then I multiply by 4. That's 5 times 4 is 20, and then I add on my 5. I don't need any other brackets because I did what's inside the brackets first, 2 multiplied by 3. Then I multiplied by 4, and that's the first multiplication. And then I added on 5, multiplication, division, addition. So that's exactly then how to do it. 2 times 3 in bracket, 2 plus 3 in brackets, multiply by 4 and add 5, which is equal to 25. Now in C, 2, 3, 4, 5 again, and this time it has to add up to 40. And I have to say to myself, what do I do here? And I can see that 2 and 3 are 5, 5 and 4 are 9, 9 and 5 are 14. And there's only one operation required throughout this, so there's no need for brackets, no need to think about it in any way. So Mrs. Campbell and I would like you to try all of 2 and all of 3. Now let's go down to C, solve the equations. So this time we're working with decimals, and we've always told you that the easiest way of working out these kind of sums is to convert your decimal fraction or your percentage into a simple fraction. So we know that 0.1 is 1 over 10 and a tenth of 10. So we always, to get one part of the fraction, we must divide by the denominator, and then to get several parts, we multiply by the numerator. So we would like you to try 2, just 2C and D, and then we go down to 3 and 3/4, 1/5, 2/3 and 5/8. We want you to try C and D, remembering to get one part and then multiply by your numerator to get several parts. Now if you look to C4, we can see that here we are not looking for a part of a number. Here we have a part of the number, but we are looking for the whole number. In 4A we're looking for 20/20ths. In B, 20/20ths. C and D the same. So for example, I'll just try the first one for you here. 1/20th of a number is 1. So we know that 1/20th is equal to 1 because it said it. It said it simple as 1/20th of a number. We don't know what the number is yet. That's what we're trying to find out. And that number will be 20/20ths because we're dealing with 20ths. And that's equal to 1. So if 1/20th is equal to 1, well, to get 20/20ths, you just multiply by 20. So 1/20th of 20 is equal to 1. Now here, 3/20ths of a number is equal to 9. We have 3/20ths, which is equal to 9. Now, if we want to get one of the 3/20ths, we always have to get one part before we can get the full number. I've said that all the way through, regardless of whether you're finding a part or whatever. To get the whole, you must get one part in order to get several parts or to get the total number, whether it's 5/5, 20/20ths, a million over 1 million, and so forth. So 3/20ths of a number is 9. So 3/20ths is equal to 9. And if 9 is equal to 3 of your 20/20ths, well, to get one of those 3, we divide by 3. We can't divide by 20 in this instance because we don't have 20/20ths. We don't have the whole number. So 9 divided by 3 is 3. And then to get all your 20ths, if one of the 3/20ths is 3, well, then 20 of them would be 3 by 20, 60. So if I want to check back over that, I say to myself, 3/20ths, I have 60 in the frame. 3/20ths of 60 is 90. Is that true? To get 1/20th, you divide by 20. 20 to 60 goes 3. And to get 3/20ths multiplied by 3, 9. That was just to check back over to see was I correct, and I was. Miss Campbell and I would like you to try 4C and 4D. Now look at 5A. Here we have decimal points again, but this time we're dealing with hundredths. So you have to break them down, put 0.25 over 100 and 75 over 100, break it down to the simplest form. The same as 65, break it down, and 0.95, 95 over 100, break it down. And here you have the whole number because it just says 0.25 of 36. And what's your answer? 0.75 of 16. So in 5A, B, C, D, 36 is your whole number. 16 is your whole number. 100 is your whole number. 200 is your whole number. Now look to C. 0.15 of a number is 6. So I'm going to put 15 over 100 because 0.15 is 15 over 100. And if I break that down, 15 over 100, well, to break it down, we must divide the numerator and the denominator by the same number, and it must go in evenly, no remainder. So I know that 15 divided by 5 is 3, and 100 divided by 5 is 20. So I'm getting 3/20ths of a number is 6. Now I have 3/20ths, which is 6, but I'm looking for 20/20ths. So I can't divide by 20 to get 1/20th because I only have 3/20ths. So in order to get one of the 3/20ths before I can get 20/20ths being the whole number, I divide 6 by 3, which is 2, and multiply by 20 to get 20/20ths, which is 40. Then I checked back over it and I said, so 40. So 0.15 of 40 is 6. So that was 3 over 20th of 40 is 6. So to get 1/20th of 40, 40 divided by 20 is 2. And then multiply the 2 by the 3 on top, that's 6. So QED. You've got your answer. You checked back over it. Now I would like you to try 6B, C and E. 6B, C and D. Hello. I'd go back and revise my alphabet, guys. And then for 7, write a word problem for any of the 3 above. Just 3 above, write a word problem. And that's, I suppose, more or less like A above. Okay, guys? So just 3 of them, please. And then we'll go to D. Solve the equations. So here we have, again, we have decimals over 100. And I'm going to ask you to do C and D in 1. And B and C in 2. Now here we go, B and C. So if you look at 2, A, B, C and D, here again we do not have our full number. We are looking for the full number. 0.05, which is 5 over 100, which is 1/20th of a number, is 3. So if 1/20th of a particular number, which would fit into the frame, is 3, well then to get 20/20ths is 3 multiplied by 20, which is 60. So then 1/20th of 60, if we put 60 in the frame in 2A, is 3. Just stop the tape, go back over and listen carefully to what I just said there. Okay, guys? We know that when we have such and such 0.05 of a number is 3. We know we don't have our full number. We don't have our hundredths. We only have 0.05, which when put over 5 over 100th, we only have 5 hundredths. When broken down into its simplest form is 1/20th. We have 1/20th, and that's equal to 3 in 2A. We want 20 20ths. So if we have 1 20th, which is 3, we just multiply by 20 to get 20 20ths. And then we have B, 0.68 over 100 of a number is 136. So again, guys, you're going to be looking for the full number. So this time you'll be dividing by the numerator to get one of the parts and multiplying by the denominator to get all of the parts, because you cannot divide by the denominator, the number under the bottom, if you don't have the full number. You just can't. You can only divide by how many you have, and that's the numerator. So for example, if it were 5/20ths of a number is whatever, because you only have 5/20ths to get 1/20th, you only have 5 of them, so you have to get one of the 5/20ths, so you divide by 5, and then when you get your answer, you multiply by 20 to get 20 20ths. And guys, when you see that in your head, it really does make sense. It really does, because you can't divide by a bigger number if you don't have that amount. You just can't. If you are dividing 6 sweets, if you're dividing 6 sweets amongst 8 people, it's not possible, because the number is too big. You can't divide 6 sweets by 8 people. And the same here, if you only have 5/20ths, you can't divide by 20 to get 1/20th, because you don't have 20 20ths. You can only divide by the number you have, and that is 5. So to get, I hope that comparison was kind of made it a little bit clearer. You can't divide by something you don't have, and that's basically it, guys. So, geez, where am I? What number was I on? Lads. I was on, 68 over 100. Yeah, guys, got so involved there, I forgot what I was even doing. So we want you to try 2, B and C in D, and we would like you to try 3, C and D. And then we want you to try for A, B, C, and D, because again, we have 12% of a number is 24. And we told you before, when you're getting a percentage, it's best to convert it to a fraction. 12 over 100. And I know that 12 over 100, I can see that 12 and 100 have something in common, 4. So 12 divided by 4 is 3. And 100 divided by 4 is 25. So with 3/25ths of a number is 24. Now, 3/25ths is 24. We can't divide by 25 to get 1/25th before we get the whole number, because we don't have 25 over 25. We don't have the whole number, which is 25/25ths. So we can only divide by what we have, and we have 3 of them. We have 3/25ths is 24. So to get one of the 3/25ths, we divide 24 by 3, which is 8. And then we multiply by 25. And I know 4/25ths are 100, so then 8/25ths is 200. So there we have 12% of 200 is 24. How do I know I'm right? I'll go back and check it. So 12% is 3/25ths. If I get 1/25th, because we have our whole number now, which is 200, a 25th of 200 is 8. And then we want to get 3 of those 3/25ths, 8 by 3/24, QED. So we'd like you to do D, B, E, C, and D. So that's B, C, and D in D. And then, guys, if you want to challenge yourself, a person must burn 3,500 calories to lose half a kilo of weight, which is, think about what's half a kilo anyway. Write an equation that represents the number of calories a person would have to lose to lose 2 kilograms. So you must look at the relationship between a half a kilogram and 2 kilograms and work it from there. And then in 2, how many calories would that person have to burn each day if they wanted to lose 2 kilograms in 2 weeks? Remember, how many days in 2 weeks? And just when you're working out a sum, think of all the relationship between what they're asking you and what you have already, the information you have and what you're asking to do, and try and see, is there something that's connected? Always see the connection between the question and the information you have. And put down everything in front of you in numbers: 3,500, half a kilo, which you see there is a relationship between half a kilo and 2 kilograms, and therefore there would be a relationship then that would have an impact on the 3,500 calories. And then you have 2 kilograms, which is mentioned in the question 1, and we kind of carry it on then because they're now using the information to find out something about what would happen if a person had to burn, how many calories would they have to burn each day for 2 weeks. But remember, they ask each day. So many calories would a person have to burn each day, not always underline the important questions, the important words. And in this instance, it's each, because they haven't asked you over a total. They've just asked you each of the 2 weeks, the 14 days. Okay, guys, so good luck with that. And we'll have the answers uploaded tomorrow. I hope I've made a little bit of sense. And it does go back to that whole idea of a quarter of something as opposed to a quarter is something. So if you have a quarter of a number and you're given, obviously, a quarter of 16, 16 is your 4 quarters. So a quarter of 16 is 4. But if you're told a quarter of a number is 4, well, then you only have 1 quarter and you're looking for the whole number, and the whole number in this instance is 4 quarters. So if a quarter is 4, well, then 4 quarters is 4 by 4, 16. So that's the difference between the way you work out those particular questions that are put to you. Anyway, guys, we'll check in with you again tomorrow. Good luck with this, and keep stopping and going back if you're not sure, and listen and re-listen until you have fully absorbed what's in front of you and what I've said. Talk to you tomorrow. Bye.